The streets of Memphis had seen violence before, but nothing prepared the city for the moment when one of its own, rapper, entrepreneur, and community figure Young Dolph, was gunned down in broad daylight inside a neighborhood bakery he loved. For many, it was more than the loss of an artist. It was the loss of a son of Memphis, a man admired for giving back, for handing out food and turkeys during the holidays, for investing in his community when few others did. His killing was a shock that rippled far beyond the music world. But behind the ambush was a story of betrayal, rivalries, and a plot that prosecutors say was carefully orchestrated. At the center of the trial stands Hernandez Govan, a man accused of being the organizer, not the trigger man. Prosecutors claim he was the one who connected the dots, who gave the orders, who ensured the shooters were in place at the right time. He didn't pull the trigger, but according to the state, he pulled the strings. Prosecutors allege that Govan directed two men, Cornelius Smith Jr. and Justin Johnson, to carry out the hit. Both would later become central figures in the story. Johnson already convicted, Smith now testifying from the witness stand, placing the blame squarely on Govan. Cornelius Smith Jr. admitted to being one of the shooters. His words in court carried the weight of someone who had lived through it, someone who could no longer hide from what he had done. He testified that the motive for the killing came from Anthony Big Juke Mims, a figure tied to the Memphis rap scene and the brother of rapper Yo Gotti. According to Smith, Big Juke put out a six-figure bounty on Young Dolph, angered by diss tracks and long-running rivalries. Smaller bounties, Smith said, were placed on every artist signed to Dolph's label, Paper Route Empire. Smith claimed that it was Govan who told him about the hit, who laid out the plan, and who promised to take his cut. But the defense painted a different picture. Govan's lawyer pushed hard, portraying Smith as unreliable, a man who would say anything to cut a deal for himself. The tension in the courtroom was thick. Whose story would the jury believe? The man accused of orchestrating the killing, or the admitted shooter trying to save his own life? For the people of Memphis, the courtroom drama only reopened wounds that had never fully healed. Young Dolph was more than a rapper. He was a hometown hero, one of the rare artists who never turned his back on where he came from. He gave away food, sponsored events, and inspired kids who saw in him the proof that success didn't mean abandoning your roots. And yet, it was in his own city, at his favorite cookie shop, during a time meant for giving back, that his life was taken. The killing became more than a criminal case. It became a symbol of the city's battle with gun violence. Leaders, activists, and everyday citizens pointed to his death as a reminder of how quickly lives can be stolen, how deep rivalries can cut, and how entire communities can be left grieving. The deeper prosecutors dug, the more tangled the case became. On one side, accusations of conspiracy, revenge, and orchestrated violence. On the other, questions about credibility, about who was truly pulling the strings, and about whether justice could ever balance the scales of such a loss. Big Juke himself would later be gunned down outside a Memphis restaurant, adding another layer of blood to an already violent feud. For many watching the trial, it felt less like a straightforward case and more like the unraveling of a web, one that stretched across music, money, power, and revenge. The courtroom awaits its verdict, but the pain remains. Fans still play his music. Families still grieve. And the streets of Memphis still remember the day one of their brightest lights was extinguished. This is more than a trial. It's a story about fame and envy, loyalty and betrayal, charity and violence, all colliding in a single, tragic moment. Subscribe to my channel, where we uncover the untold stories behind every shocking crimes, explore the investigations that grip entire communities, and bring you closer to the pursuit of justice. Stay safe, stay aware, stay informed. If you notices any suspicious act or movement, report to your local authority.